Afternoon. Doing great. How you guys doing? Good.
I have a long shot question for you. Have you ruled out Fred Warner from playing this week, or is there a chance that he might suit up?
I'll refer all that to Kyle with the injuries.
Past 3 games, obviously, the defense been off the field a lot more the way the offense is playing. But I think the run defense, it seems that it has been better on the interior. Has Eric Armstead's move to more defensive tackle alignment helped in that regard for the run defense?
Yeah, I think with the run defense, it's been all of our guys inside. I feel like they've all played better. Starting with DJ Jones, he's been in there. He's done a really good job of attacking and making plays inside. You see Kevin Givens stepping in, making a huge play for us there last week. And Eric has done a really good job inside as well. So all of those guys, Shree, Eric, DJ, is collectively as a group, all of our guys inside have played well.
DJ, how much credit does he get for that interception, Aziz's interception on Sunday?
Oh, if he doesn't do what he do with getting his hands up there, I mean, Kirk is able to make a clean throw there. So I think that DJ getting his hands up, affecting the quarterback there, it has everything to do with Aziz being able to get that interception. And Aziz also did an awesome job of, redirecting his body and being able to being able to make that catch. It was a tough catch, but it's all credit goes to DJ with him getting his hands up, affecting the quarterback, something we've been trying to instill in our guys more, how can we affect the quarterback? And that's, of course, getting our hands up when we are close.
He gets off the line faster than anybody on that play. Was that just that play, or is that something that you've been seeing from DJ, just really explosive get-offs?
Yeah, that's what he's been doing, and that's what, been with DJ, that's what he's just, really taking hold of the scheme and doing what we asked him to do, and that's attacking. That's our front. We want to play an attack front, and when our guys are attacking up front, the run game is better, the passing, everything is better because everything is predicated on our defensive line being aggressive and attacking up front. And when DJ just doing his job, nothing fancy, but he's just doing his job there on that play, attacking, doing what he's supposed to do, and it causes a turnover. And that's how, we haven't had turnovers and things, but they're coming now. It's just a matter of guys just being fundamentally sound, owning their technique, doing their job, to the best of their ability.
You've been around DJ for a long time while you've been here. What steps has he taken since you've seen him from the beginning?
Yeah, I think DJ, from the beginning, he's always kind of been up and down, splash player. But you see here, I've seen him grow from the standpoint of him just being a more consistent player. He's been very consistent, and he's been dominant. He's been playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, which he can do consistently, and that's what he's proven. And that's how he's grown since his time since he's been here. He's just become a more consistent, more dominant force inside, and that's the reason why we continue to play good defense because of DJ and what he does up front for us.
Kyle mentioned with Aziz that he flies around all the time, which is wonderful, but sometimes in the past, I guess more frequently than now, but he'd fly around and perhaps not break down and, miss tackles and stuff. Is that, even at this level, you go back to the fundamentals with a guy like that and, remember to break down Aziz, or how do you deal with that if that was like an issue?
Yeah, that is Aziz. That's who he is. He is probably one of our best effort players. When you turn on our tape, you're going to see 51 flying around, sideline to sideline, making plays. And that's what I want from him. That's what I expect from him. Love the aggressiveness. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the point in time to make that tackle, when you're flying around like that, sometimes you may miss. But that's okay if I have 10 other guys flying around at the same speed and with the same mentality that Aziz is flying around with. So Aziz, he has to just continue to do what he's doing. He's been doing a great job, having the best year of his career, and I see him just continue to get better and better each week. But, when you fly around like that, that's what we want. And of course, sometimes you may miss, but it's all about those other guys coming as well, and are they flying around as quick as him?
He had a semi-underrated play. I think it was the last tackle when he got Cook. No, it wasn't Cook. Madison maybe on the second down on Vikings' last drive before he could get to the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, is that just an example you said him being able to get sideline to sideline and make plays.
Yeah, of course. And Aziz, he plays all over the field. And that play there during the 2-minute drive, we try to teach our guys in 2 minutes, you want to tackle the outside leg, knock guys back so the clock can continue to run. And that was a perfect example from not only Aziz, but also E-Man had a tackle on that same drive is exactly what we want there to continue to make the clock move. So that's Aziz. He's all over the place. He plays with a lot of energy, hair is on fire, and he's a guy who can rally the guys around him as well.
How is Mosley playing, and how much do he and everybody else in the secondary got to watch out for the deep ball with Russ? Have you noticed any difference in Russell's deep ball the last 3 games?
Yeah, I think E-Man has done a good job. E-Man has been consistent for us, one of the most consistent guys in the back end. E-Man is doing a good job for us. And when it comes to the Russell and the deep ball and those things, guys, they just have to play their techniques. I mean, it's we know they're going to try to attack us with Metcalf, getting the ball, so our guys are aware of that. But guys can't panic or anything when that time comes. You just have to trust their preparation and what they've been doing all week, what they've been studying all week. Just trust that and go play fast, man. Go play confident. That's what our guys have to do.
As Talanoa develops, how fun is it for you to find ways to get him on the field in those 3 safety sets? Because obviously those have been increasing here over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, with Talanoa getting on the field is just a credit to him. And first off, how smart he is. His first thing first, he's a very sharp guy. He can handle a lot. I put a lot on him. And he's able to handle. He does a great job of studying and always being prepared. So with that, we try to get him out on the field as much as we can because you see he can be a playmaker for us, and he's made some big time plays for us when he's out there. So as much as I can, I want to keep him out on the field.
Having a bigger sample size of Seattle with their new offensive coordinator at this point than you did the first time. Yeah. What have you seen in that group? What are maybe some strengths and weaknesses that you've identified now that they have a bigger sample to work with?
Yeah, I think it's still Seattle as I watch these guys and study them. They want to run the ball, they want to keep the game manageable, so Russ can get there in the fourth quarter and be Russ and try to make a miraculous play to win the game. So to me, everything they do offensively has been the same. They have a few more wrinkles here and there with some play action plays, but for the gist of everything, it's still Seattle heavy. They want to run the ball, play action pass. Take some deep shots to lock it. So that's still who they are. And we've went against these guys a lot. We know it's going to be a tough battle. Those guys always are competitive. They're going to play hard just as we are. So it's always going to be a good matchup.
Struggling as much as they have the last few weeks, how much do you brace for that? Like, hey, you guys, they're eventually going to snap out of this.
Yeah, when you look at the tape and you really watch these guys, these games are all close. Their record may not say that, but all of the games they've been in. So our guys aren't looking at it like, oh, look at their record. They're not who they've been. Seattle is still the same. They're going to play tough. They'll be in the game. No matter how the game looks, how the outcome looks, they always find a way to be in games and have an opportunity a chance to win the game, just like they did on Monday night. As bleak as the situation looked, they still are able to generate a drive there when they need it. So, we're not, sort of overlooking these guys or anything like that. We know we have to. This is going to be a tough match. We got to play our best ball against these guys. We expect to win.
One more DJ question.
Yeah.
I think early in his career, stamina was a question mark with him playing well into December and January. How has he done in that regard? How is he looking right now, for example?
Yeah, big credit to DJ. I think when he came into camp, he came back probably in the best shape that he's been in. And he's sustained that throughout the entire year. So it's just a credit to how DJ has worked in the offseason, and he hasn't, missed a ton of time. He's been available, and he's been available to showcase his talent. And that's what you see. Like, he's been out there, he's been able to showcase a consistent and dominant player inside. So it's a credit to him and just how he's worked from the offseason and how it's paid off for him throughout the year. All right. Good. Thanks, guys.
Look who decided to show. I missed Thanksgiving dinner last week. I was here till 7 o'clock just standing at this podium. You guys weren't here. Oh, really? Oh, I was here already. What do you guys got?
I asked Jimmy about this yesterday, but he said it'd be a better question for the coaches. I've looked at the offensive efficiency splits. First and third down, you guys are at or near the top of the league. Second down, like 23, 24. Is that something that you guys are aware of? And is that something, do you have any theories as to why second down has been less efficient?
Correlation or causation? I don't know. No, I think that's more happenstance than anything. There's you pretty much treat first and second down the same in terms of there's still an equal run pass threat, and that's how we kind of look at the game. So I wouldn't say maybe we're bad second down coaches. I feel like over time that would work itself out. But yeah, that's not something that I was really aware of. Just because we look at the game first and second down, you're either avoiding third down or you're not.
Guys did a lot of those toss plays to Mitchell to the right side, and they were effective. Is that something that's pre-calculated, whether you're going to do your runs right or left, or is that based on what you're seeing at the moment?
We, especially our staff, we have a collection of coaches that might err on the side of overthought. So literally every direction, ball handling, receiver alignment, there's a reason for everything. That doesn't mean it works out or it works in our favor or it doesn't come to bite us. But all of those things we take into consideration. A lot of it has to do with defensive line penetration, how we're blocking things, the comfort of the backs, how the defense responds to tosses. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you. So it's all game plan specific, and we have good, more than good. We have really good blockers at tight end. So a lot of times when you're trying to utilize that, tossing the ball can get the ball to them quicker and help them impact the game. But there's a multitude of reasons. But and I wouldn't say specifically that there's a reason that the ones to the right have worked, other than that on those given plays, the right side has executed blocks well, and then when they've overran it, the backside on Lakin and Trent have done a good job on the backside block. So that's pretty much the reason. There's a multitude of reasons, all of which we consider every single play, probably to a fault.
With your vantage point from the booth, and you can see that all 22. Can you notice anything about how Elijah Mitchell's getting in a flow of a game from your
For
point?
sure.
Yeah. How so?
You can feel, especially from the box, you can feel the momentum of defenders, and you can feel when there's plays are blocked for 3 or 4, and you can feel the momentum of the runner get 7. That vantage point is very impactful for the momentum of run plays, for the line of scrimmage in general, and pass plays. You can really, from the sideline copy, essentially, is what you're looking at. It's one of the reasons that it is an advantage to be up there, to see it all play out.
I think you're averaging something like 8.8 yards a play when Debo lines up in the backfield. A small sample size, but other than just getting the ball in the hands of a really good player as much as you can, why do you think it's so successful, and what does it do to defenses just having the threat of him in that position?
Oh, because that's something that it's not like we were. It's something that happens organically when you're trying to solve game planning issues week in, week out. So, one game in particular, there was a team that played a lot of man coverage, so that was a reason to have them in the backfield to see how they would line. But also, Debo's been making a ton of plays with the ball in his hands, so defenses are aware of that. And when you do have success at anything, it allows you to anticipate some overplay for things because they better defend it, and that opens up other things. So I think the stuff that Debo's done with the ball in his hands, we found a couple other ways to get him the ball, and then it's a reaction from there, which is probably why the stats have been so successful. I'm sure if we did it at every play, the success rate would probably go. It wouldn't be as high, so you have to pick and choose. Otherwise, we'd probably do it every single play. But that's something that organically happens depending on the defensive scheme that you have and the different problems they present.
Before you started going to that more, had you seen maybe coverage just rolled his way a little bit more? I mean, is there an element of like, hey, this is a way we can get the ball in his hands and there's nothing they can do about it?
As far as coverages, we move our players around a lot. I think there's been a lot of stuff written about how much we motion and stuff. So it is hard for defenses to overplay with their back end pre-snap. But really, it's just like, hey, what if we could get the ball to one of our best players, one of the best players in the league, with the ball in his hands, and minimize the risk. So that that's what a run is in general. Is just you're distributing the ball in a safer way, so that when a guy is adept at carrying the ball in tight space and is tough enough and fast enough to get through holes like a running back, shoot, why don't we give him a couple touches back there, see if he can get some explosives and not have to put the team in harm's way, be able to dictate the terms a little bit on the line of scrimmage and whatnot.
I think his role has evolved a lot as he's been here. Did you see this potential from him when you were looking at him at the Senior Bowl, per se?
No, you knew that he could do some cool things, and he was a tough player. That at the Senior Bowl, it really struck us that, hey, this is a type of guy that you want to be a part of your team touching the football. So you're evaluating that. To say that we envisioned his role as it was last week, that would be a lie. That stuff kind of just comes organically as because you got to teach a receiver to be a receiver first, and the more he's comfortable in the offense, then you're like, hey, well, let's try him doing this, and then he's comfortable with that. I mean, it's a chore just to for a receiver to learn how to align in the backfield. Receivers don't know what the B gap is. So like to tell them to align there, that it can be a lot on someone's plate. Every single time he's in the backfield, or every single time we're using him in different ways, that is that is something he has to learn and own. And you try not to get too ahead of yourself, because he's got to be a receiver that can catch a ball on third down as well and beat man coverage. So it's something that we've been fortunate enough to have experience with a lot of different types of players. Then there's a lot of stuff that people do around the league that you kind of catch an eye on, and then when the opportunity presents itself, you just try to do stuff that makes sense for your team and your offense.
Mike, just given what the Seahawks have been for over a decade, is it just weird to be preparing for a 3-8 Seahawks team?
Well, it's funny, you watch the tape, and the tape doesn't match the record. I don't think there's a person in our building, and there's a player in our locker room that would think of this team as a 3-8 football team at all. They play hard. They've lost games that were close. I think we can relate to that. And the the Seahawks as a team still have their same mantra of they do not let anything happen to teams easy. There's a lot of teams that, or there's a lot of people saying that the Packers are the best team in the NFL. Well, what was the score with 5 minutes to go just like 2 weeks ago? That this is a team that you cannot take lightly, and we sure aren't. It's hard enough to win in this league as it is, but the 3-8, we try to keep our brains to the film and what we see and what we prepare for, and it does not look like that at all from a defensive perspective. They look as tough as ever.
How much progress have you been able to see from Trey Lance as far as operating from the pocket while he's been running the scout team here over the past few weeks?
There's always progress because there are so many things that go into playing the quarterback position. So each and every day he comes up, he's presented with different challenges and is forced to operate within the pocket in different ways. He sees our coverages and has to execute various plays that overlap with our offense. So there's growth each and every week because you're getting to experience things. You got to have trials, errors. It's all about reps, and each week is very important for him on the scout team, preparing our defense as well as preparing himself.
How much more can he benefit? Like we've asked you this in previous weeks when he's emulated other quarterbacks, but this week I guess a little bit of Russell Wilson. What goes into that?
No, it is cool for him to find himself as a player. When you go, your back-to-back weeks are Kirk Cousins, where you're primarily emphasizing pocket passing, and then our defense has to be ready for off schedules. I'm not sure if there's a quarterback that's done it better in this league than Russell Wilson. So it is beneficial to have that variance because whatever you're emphasizing, you get reps at that component of your game. So having him back-to-back weeks has been great for him.
It's good. Thanks, Mike.
Juwan Jennings was a dual threat quarterback in high school. I don't know if you knew that before dialing that up, but did he earn maybe another crack at that somewhere down the line?
I mean, for sure, everything's up. As you've noticed, we if people have skill sets, sometimes it takes us a while to find them, but we try to utilize them. So he did nothing to keep us from doing it in the future. We did know that. The great thing about Juwan is if we ignored that fact, he would have let us know pretty quick. So we knew early that was in his repertoire.
Maybe like last year after he was drafted?
Probably about 10 minutes after. It's great. It's been great to see him get some experience. I think he has, is it one completion? Yeah, he's 1 for 1 for it was a penalty, it was nullified, so. But yeah, the ball didn't hit the ground, so that's a win.
It was close.
Yeah. Pulled the string a little bit. Oh yeah. Appreciate it.
Have they beneficial for you? I mean, just not practicing? Did you need that day just to?
Yeah, I appreciate them for doing that. Like I said, I want to be out there, but I just appreciate them for letting me take that day.
So it's not you saying, hey, I need I guess as a rookie, maybe you can't do that, right?
No, yeah, I don't say nothing.
We saw you, I think it was last Wednesday, sort of not catching any passes and using only one hand for your carries. As the week went on, did you get more comfortable, and was it sort of adjusting to the plastic piece that's protecting your finger?
Yeah, most definitely. During the middle of the week, I just had to get comfortable holding the ball and stuff and seeing how the new little covering worked for me. But by the end of the week, I was good to go.
You've been more involved in the pass game, catching passes the last couple of weeks. Is that something that you have grown in throughout the season, or have you just kind of been waiting for the opportunity, maybe a combination of the two?
Definitely grown into it. Like I say, whenever a quick play is called, I just have to stay in there. But I'm totally capable of doing it, though.
There's a lot of times people talk about hitting a rookie wall, and don't seem like you're doing anything like that. How is your body holding up, aside from the injuries, conditioning-wise?
Like I say, my body's holding up pretty well. No, it don't surprise me. Like I say, we have Elliot and Tom. They do a good job, or just let me know, hey man, come in and stuff. So I appreciate them for that, and just like I say, taking the training room and the cold tub and hot tub and doing that also really helps.
You have like the compression sleeve, the sports sleeve on your leg. Is that what's the purpose of that?
That's just to keep my leg, my left side of my leg warm and stuff.
Is that new?
No, it's not new. It's just something that I always did.
The past 3 weeks, I know you've only played 2 of those, but each time you guys have gotten up to that 40 carry mark. As a running back, when you get toward the end of the game, when you guys have racked up that many carries, can you feel the defense being maybe a little bit more tired than they were at the start of the game?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like I say, having the linemen up front, Juice back there, wide receivers, they bring defense, like they tear them up. So yeah, most definitely, you could definitely tell the defense being tired once the game in.
Mike McDaniel was talking about backside blocking and the job that Trent Williams and Laken Tomlinson do there. Is that something that you probably can't appreciate it, during the game, but that you're seeing afterwards what they're able to do down the field on those types of plays?
Oh, even during the play, I see it. Like I say, cutting back door and stuff, they knocking them down back there. So you got to be able to see that to make that cut. But yeah, they do an awesome job of doing that. I love them.
Kyle's talked about your vision. Where does that start? Like, how do you develop that type of vision where you see the holes opening up, what gap to run into? Where's the origin of that?
Really, like I say, that's just something that I had since I was small. Really, just playing ball, being a running back, you gotta have vision. But like I say, it's always good when, like I say, Bobby T, he reminds you of it. Like, make sure you have vision, make sure you be looking and stuff. But it's just always in the back of your head, though. But that's just something you're really born with.
With that, what is Bobby having you do to even enhance your play more at this point in the season?
Really, like I say, Bobby T, he do a good job of just when you watch film, he lets you know, like, hey, look at this. Like, he actually where you should have cut at right here. So he just making it known, or just keeping it in your head, like, okay, this is where it's gonna be at, or look, you should have done this. So he do a really good job of that.
When you watch film of the Seahawks, what do you see out of Bobby Wagner?
Oh, he's aggressive linebacker. Like I say, he's been in the game a long time now. So like I say, he's aggressive, but you just got to bring it.
What about just going to Seattle and being in that environment for the first time? Do you look forward to going to certain stadiums?
Yeah, everybody tell me the stadium's loud and stuff, and it's gonna be a good crowd. So, but like I say, I treat every game. We all treat every game the same. Thank you.
Hello. Great. How are y'all?
Has it been fun for you to have Eric move inside more often?
I asked him that. Has it been better for you inside? He likes it in there. I like him. I like it when he's in there with me. I mean, it's tough to run the ball when both of us are in there. So I like that. Yeah.
Looks like Maurice Hurst is getting closer to returning to the field. What would he bring to this defense if he's out there on Sunday?
I think he showed that briefly in was it 2 games that he played. He made an impact immediately. He's an instinctive guy, as a bunch of us are. He can make plays, and that's what we need. But can't wait to get him back.
What is city team something that was important to you for my cause, my cleats?
Honestly, me and my wife were looking for an organization that was kind of smaller, but just along the lines of homelessness is something that's always been close to my heart. Seeing the homeless breaks my heart every time. So who would I be not to help?
I don't mean to jinx you, but you have stayed on the field. I know that's been an emphasis in the past. There's only so much you can do. But anyway, how big a deal is it to you that you've been able to play 11 of 11 games?
That's huge. For me, it's huge. Like you all know, I haven't been on the field the past few years for all the games. It's something here and something there, but it's a blessing to be on the field for 11 out of 11 games, and hopefully we can make the rest.
One of the games that you missed in 2019 was the big one at Seattle.
Yeah.
Where were you? Were you at that game? Where did you watch it from?
I think, I was there. I was there. I was actually there. I got to experience it. I was in the locker room after everything. It just didn't feel right to me, just not being able to. I celebrated, but it was a different celebration for me. It was like dang, I could have been a part of that. But God has his plan, so.
A lot of guys have spoken about their kind of almost rituals during the final drive. I think Debo said he didn't even watch because he couldn't, was too
to
nervous.
watch the defense? Yeah, it was.
So what were you doing during that final drive?
I think I was pretty sure we were going to make a stop. I can't even tell you exactly what I was doing, but all I know is when they said that Dre stopped him, I just went crazy, just like everybody else. But that was a moment I'll never forget. Never.
I was talking about how Nick Bosa and Trent Williams are so cerebral when they're breaking down pass rush plays and how to just their technique. What have you seen from both of those two through the last 2 years? Maybe Bosa while he's coming back from injury as well.
Technicians, they inspire me. Bosa for the most part inspires me. Just watching him develop his game, because that's what he does. He's developing. He doesn't just stop. I'm Nick Bosa. I can just come out here and play. No. He wants to develop. He's in the weight room every day. If you could see, before practice, he's the first one on the field. He's a technician, and I love that about him.
What did you learn from him playing next to him?
That if he's on my side, get ready to rush outside, get ready to run down the quarterback.
Does it surprise you how technical he is? There are some people that, their physical prowess makes them a better player, but the fact that, he's such a student of the game as well.
It doesn't surprise me, knowing that family's history. It's a great family. The bloodline will be strong for a long time. But he's a technician, so you can't. There's nothing really to judge about him. He's a tough-minded guy, real low-key, and he just likes to work.
Since Russell Wilson came back, he hasn't looked quite right. The offense hasn't looked quite right. Obviously, the 3-8 record is unusual for them. You guys have to be wary that suddenly old Russell appears.
Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson. That's all I'm gonna say. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback. We can't sleep on anybody on that team, anybody in the NFL. Russell could come out and play his best game of the season, but we'll play ours, so we're prepared. Very nice. Thank y'all.
Howdy. My friends. Hello.
George, your mic caused my cleats. Why is that organization important to you, and why did you choose it?
TAPS. Well, I've always liked working with the military. I've had several family members that have been in the military that have gone on multiple tours, and like, I don't know, my uncle served, I think 2 tours, and like that was right when I think I was like between the ages of like 6 to 12, and like I lived right next to his house, and so I knew the impact of him not being there for long periods of time, and then at the 2018-19 Pro Bowl, I think it was, we got to work with TAPS, and I got to really figure out what like they were all about, and they pay the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to live our lives here the way that we want to live them, and so I feel like, you know, as much as help and awareness I can spread about TAPS and the good that they do, I just try to do it all the time because I think it's a wonderful organization. I've met wonderful people through that organization, and it's just been fun for me to be able to work with them.
George, the Seahawks are obviously 3-8, a little wounded right now. It seems like, just based on what other coaches and players have talked about it, the theme this week has been they played a lot of close games. They're in some ways still the Seahawks, and don't let your guard down. Is that accurate?
I mean, I don't know, Kyle probably gave you the spiel of, they, what was it, 3-0 with 3 minutes left against the Packers. They were in the game against Washington even after they had like 7 3-and-outs. Their offense might not be clicking right now, but their defense is, I think, playing at a high level. I mean, anytime you got Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, Diggs, DJ Reed out there, like those are guys that can make plays and they can change the game. They're game changers. And any offense that has Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett on it can score. You look at their like 2 scoring drives against Washington, they scored on like 3-4 plays and like just shot plays, and that's what they're really good at. And Russell's got paid the way he did because he knows how to win, and that's what they do. They win, and like they've been unfortunate the last couple of weeks. I think every time that the Niners and the Seahawks play, it's usually a pretty good game. And whether they have 0 wins and we're undefeated, or we have 0 wins and they're undefeated, I think it's always a good game, and we're each going to give each other our best shot. And this, I think, is going to be our toughest game of the year, and I think they would say the same thing.
Is Seattle the most intense atmosphere you play in?
It's one of my favorites. I don't know, for me, like, when you go to a stadium and it's like built up like that and the sound's just coming down on you the whole time and you can feel the passion of hatred from their fans, that's what football's supposed to be. We're not supposed to like each other, and you can definitely feel that from their fans, and I love that. I mean, that's football. New Orleans was pretty dang fun. Similar atmosphere. It's just loud, and they're on top of you. I always love playing at Seattle, and it's just a great football atmosphere.
You were in the locker room the second half last year's visit.
Yes, I was.
Different sound in there.
Oh, you hear it for sure still. Yeah, you definitely hear the cheers or the boos. You hear them both. And, hopefully I'm just on the field the entire game this year.
Talked about his favorite memory being when Trey made the big stop on the goal line. Do you have your own memory of Seattle that's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite game for Seattle was 2018 when we beat them here. Because I think it was the first time we beat them in a long time. It was a sloppy, wet game. We ran gap scheme on them like 8 times on the last 2 drives and fourth quarter and overtime to win the game. Nick Mullins, a quarterback. But that game was awesome. Just the way that we won it was just so gritty. Garrett Selleck had a touchdown, which was awesome. And then after that, I got to go to tables, ladders, and chairs at the SAP Center, which was a blast. It was really fun for me.
Is there something about this rivalry where those plays, those moments stick with you more strongly than other games maybe?
Rivalry games mean a lot. Something that stood out to me is they've won 16 out of the last 19, which is not acceptable. And I know like not everybody here has been a part of all those games, obviously, but that's still quite the streak. And the only way to, kind of work your way against that is to win games. And this gives us this week's an opportunity for us to, make it 16 for 20. And so that's what we're going to try to do out there is just win, because they've had our number a lot over my career and years before that. So we just want to go out there and win this game.
How do you know that stat?
My dad told me that one. Yeah, he made sure to let me know that one. Just give me a little edge.
In case you're
A little edgy, you know. It's, conference games are different. You got to go into it with it is a different mindset. Like you want to go into every game, you know, angry and ready to win, but division rivals, like they're always tough games. They're never really blowouts. They're always, you know, gritty, grindy, and you just got to really work your tail off, or otherwise you're going to get embarrassed.
Does he text you these stats?
No, I had at my podcast with my dad and my sister. We had Lake and Tomlinson on last night, and he made sure to let us know about that one. He goes, hey, you know, 16 for 19. I was like, oh, thanks, Dad. It feels great. Sick.
Is your dad still writing you letters before every game?
Every game.
Still the same kind of theme of would something like that make the letter as well?
100% will. No, it's always a page and a half due to, like, you know, Niners versus Seahawks, Rivalry, you know, whatever, how many games they played, like 46 or something like that. And so you always get some statistics in there, and then it gets a little edgy and angry and pissed off and gets me rolling.
George, I apologize for the randomness of this question.
Oh, dear.
Thigh pad question. Are those custom, the ones you have with the Niners logo on them?
I don't wear those. In pictures. Yeah, I wear the old school ones that have been worn by like 6 different Niners players in the last 25 years. Gritty. Come on, man. I'm a grimy guy. So, yeah, whatever worked back then works for me now. But, yeah, no, those, they're cool. I will say that. They definitely look cool, but I like the sleek ones.
So you don't work with like the custom makers of the company?
Oh, I don't. They just send stuff to the whole team like in preseason, and I got like 2 pairs in my locker, but I like the old school ones better.
Do you get the sense that Fred Warner is going to try to play this week?
I hope so. I mean, like, I hope that's his mindset, which I think it is. I feel like Fred and me are pretty similar. Like, we do everything that we can to be able to be available on Sundays. The amount of work, like, I don't know, we practice hard, but the amount of time that we put into our bodies, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I know that he is working diligently on being able to be on the field on Sunday. And I mean, if he plays, I won't be surprised, and if he doesn't play, it's a hand, like, you know, he's dealing with something, and it's not going to be disappointing for me. Like, obviously, I want him out there, but you know, whatever's best for him. You know, we still got some games left that he needs to play in.
Can you walk me through what your routine is when you get the game plan, the first time you get the game plan for the week? And is there a certain spot that you go to, something that you look for? Is it, you know, something that you're eager to see? Is what Mike and Kyle have come up with each week?
I mean, we always start out with the pass install, so first and second down pass game. And no, I mean, I just follow along with Kyle. I mean, he details up almost every single play, and it's just fun to listen to him talk about how specific the route needs to be, whether it's the depth, the angle, how you run on a certain player. He pulls up clips to compare it to show you what it's supposed to look like. I just try to follow along, and I know there's always a couple pages in there that, you know, I get a couple plays here and there that I'm excited about, but I'm overall just excited to see all the things that we have up and how different it is from last time or how similar it is. And then the run game's always fun too because McDaniels installs that, and those are always really fun installs. He's an exciting person to listen to talk.
George,
More guys?
obviously if Fred doesn't play, Aziz will take his spot. He seems like a guy whose style of play you would appreciate. What do you, I don't know, I guess, in watching him, do you enjoy the way he gets after it?
It reminds me of Jeff Wilson. That's like the comparison that I see. I think they go to a dark place and they just kind of, once they put that helmet on, it's football and that's it. And you know, he might be out of place once in a while, but that guy flies around and hits people very hard. And when you're on offense, like, you feel those hits, and you feel guys that bring it every single play, whether it's the first quarter, whether it's the fourth quarter, whether it's play 18 of a drive or the first play of a drive. Like, guys that bring it every single snap, they're different. They're difference makers. They're game changers. And Aziz is playing some really good ball right now, and I'm excited to see him. You know, whether Fred plays or not, but watching Aziz is always fun.
There, guys. Thanks, George.
Thanks, guys.
was saying, talking about your kind of cerebral approach to the game and some of the conversations that he's overheard you have with Trent Williams and how technical they get. Can you just lend some insight into what those conversations are like when you and Trent are having a back and forth about pass rush?
Yeah, I don't know. We're just talking about what we see, what we feel, what's harder for him to deal with, what makes me good, what makes him good. Bunch of hands, speed, movement fakes, a bunch of stuff like that.
I don't want to give away your secrets. Can you give like one example of just something that you guys might talk about when you say hands or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know. Trent's good at, one time Trent, I forget what it was. I don't know. You just see Trent doing stuff in the middle of reps that guys usually wouldn't think of. Like if I'd get him on a power, and usually guys would just be struggling to anchor and sit on it. He'll be jumping back to get low, and then he'll swipe an arm down and grab me and pull me in, and so just stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't mean to imply that the cerebral part hasn't been a part of your game in the past, but I'm curious, coming off of the injury, was that something that you felt like you needed to ramp up at all? Maybe studying more a little bit to help you kind of get confidence back and that kind of thing?
Cerebral? I don't know if I think that kind of just comes with playing. I was actually thinking today, why I haven't missed as many sacks this year as 2019, and I always thought in 2019 I needed to do more drills where I'm actually taking down the quarterback, and I would always think what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do when I get through and it's just me and him? And it's not about me doing things differently. It's just about me playing more, and it kind of just happened. So I've been more efficient with that.
Would you say that you were overthinking it in 2019?
Possibly, yeah. Trying to correct things that really didn't need correcting.
As far as the hand stuff, some people in the past, defensive linemen in the past, had done martial arts and things like that to increase speed and things of that nature. Have you done anything like that?
No. It's always been kind of natural for me, just feeling out where my hands are, and sometimes guys ask me how I do it, and I really don't have an answer. Yeah, I don't even think I look at the lineman when I'm rushing him. I think my eyes are in the backfield. So Coach Johnson at Ohio State definitely gave me a good groundwork on how to use my hands, but I feel like that's always been my strength, even since high school.
Do you still stay in touch with Coach Johnson?
Yeah, I do. He's super busy right now with the season, but we talk every once in a while.
Is that a coaching point for defensive ends to have your eyes in the backfield as you're engaging with?
I don't know. I don't know if that. Sometimes I try to tell myself to look at what I'm doing, look at my work and not worry, get my eyes in the backfield when once I win. But I don't know. I feel like it's different for different rushers, what exactly they're looking at.
You keep more of a mental file of offensive tackles or quarterbacks?
Mental file, definitely tackles. Yeah.
Are there certain quarterbacks you hate?
Yeah, all of them.
That's why I said plural.
I guess, why have you in the past hit it off with Joe Burrow, and then did that connection get any stronger, just as you guys dealt with your knee injuries?
I think we had a pretty good friendship before that. 3 years at Ohio State together, same group of friends. Would always go out together after games and hang out in the dorms my freshman year. So yeah, we were good buddies from the beginning.
You don't hate him.
No, I actually don't hate Joe.
I talked to Joe Staley about what makes Trent Williams so different as a tackle, and he spoke about how he's incredibly light on his feet but has so much strength in his upper body still. Is that unusual for guys that you face, especially at tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually talking to him on Thanksgiving about like what he thinks is the best offensive line technique. Like he doesn't really play like many guys. He kind of does his own thing, and you can't really like it. I'm sure if I was an offensive lineman, I wouldn't be able to just ask Trent how to do it because only he could do it that way. So I think he's able to not get top heavy and not give you his hands in any way because he's so stout. And he could bend really well, so when he does get powered, he could drop his hips back and really get low and stop guys. So yeah, I mean, being strong is really important as a tackle. And when he gets his hands on you, it's pretty much over.
You get the sense that Fred Warner's trying to be able to play this game?
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Are you expecting to see him out there?
I really have no clue. I've been asking him how he's feeling, but I couldn't tell you.
Okay, no. He says he's feeling okay, or what's he say?
I'm sure Fred only has one answer. So.
It sounds like everyone has been informed that the Seahawks are only losing 7-0 with 5 minutes left to that in Green Bay, and maybe some other examples that they're maybe they're not a true 3-18. Do you have to guard against that? I mean, they still have Russell Wilson, and he could emerge and just be wary that it could be sleeping Seahawks or whatever.
Yeah, no, I was watching the game the other night, and I saw a good team. I not for 1 second saw a team that I was like, oh, we should definitely beat these guys. Like, we're going to have to go play our best game, especially in Seattle. They protect well. They have a good offensive line, good receivers, and they have Russell Wilson. So I know that we're not going to take them lightly.
Garoppolo talked about his favorite memory is that game back in 2019 when Dre made the big stop at the goal line. Do you have a moment in that game that was your, like just one that you don't forget about?
In that game? Yeah, I tore my hand open, and I had to hold it up because it was so painful to, like, hold it down with the blood rushing to it. So I was just standing on the sideline like this. And Chris was like, are you all right? I was like, yeah, I'm good.
DJ Jones and Eric Armstead have been playing together more in the middle. DJ said he's liked it a lot more, thinks that Eric does too. What have you seen from those two being next to each other in the middle?
I think it's a really good combination. DJ at 2-eye and then Eric at 3 technique. I think they could both play to their strengths, and I think DJ's having an unbelievable year. Not many people watch D-tackle play as much, but he's as good as they get, and Eric's getting used to that playing inside on first and second, and he's been great like he always is.
Since you've seen him. What has DJ improved upon since you've seen him here?
I think just consistency and keeping a routine and a good work ethic throughout the whole season, and just really locking in and it's showing.
You call him a nose tackle. Is he actually playing more defensive tackle than maybe a couple of years ago?
Yeah, we don't really play a zero or a shade, which is like a 2-gap big guy. He's more of a attack D tackle.